Good morning, everybody. Well, it may be morning where you are, or it may be the afternoon now, or it may be getting on into the evening, or it could possibly be tomorrow or yesterday. No, but here we are.
Good morning. It is today.
Yeah,
Today is Saturday the 20th.
Thank you. I'm your host, Chuck Whelan. My co-host here is Mr. Dale Sipperley. He's an expert in all sorts of things. And we're here at this time in the morning. Is this a good time in the morning? Let us know your comments. We'd love to see you. We're going to do some drawing. If you want to come on the show, I'll just paste the link in here. What about that? Can I do that? There you go. Now, if you want to come on the show, you can just click on that link and you'll be able to.
Chuck, I have to ask.
Ooh.
Did you actually underdraw?
Wait, I'm hearing you all over the place. Oh, wait, I've still got you on my phone here. Hang on, I'm going to hang up. All right. Yes, so I've spent about an hour this morning doing a little pre-drawing on the page here.
That's an hour's worth of work?
Well, it may have been more like 40 minutes.
Okay.
Well,
and that's all.
But a bit of faffing about, and then I had to spend some time figuring out what I was going to do. So
anyway,
I've spent a little bit of time.
And that's all in red pencil, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know how well you can see that. But first, yeah, you can't see much of that. Oh, I can't anyway.
Now, how do you consider that loose? Do you consider that tight?
Oh, I consider that very loose. I mean, again, I might do a more detailed pencil drawing. If this was like some sort of a commission or something.
Okay.
I don't know. It's hard to say though, because I'm quite enjoying working this way, and then we'll see how it comes out.
Okay, so that's a wizard under a tree.
Something like that.
Okay, and that's red.
Wait, but first I wanted to share some things, because we didn't do show and tell
yet.
Okay,
do show and tell.
So I just posted this piece on Instagram.
What piece?
Well, let's see if I can share my screen here. I can share this. I can go here. Okay. Share. All right.
Oh, I saw that last night. You had you showed the process of drawing the sea monkeys.
Yes. Okay. So here, let's sort of see. Have a look at that. I'll keep repeating ad infinitum.
Now, did you have an underdrawing for that?
Yes. Now, I did an original sketch. All right, what are you seeing on the screen there? Okay, yes. So let me switch to this one for a second. So this was part of a batch that I inked using. Well, normally I use Higgins Black Magic ink.
Yes.
Because of its waterproof qualities, but unfortunately Higgins sell the non-waterproof. I don't have it around. I've got it carefully labeled in white in exactly the same bottle, except it just says sort of Higgins India ink or something. But it's not waterproof. But you know what I noticed though when I was doing this batch, I was like, the inking is going really well on this batch. So it was definitely much smoother and nicer to ink with. Using the speedball pens that I was using. And it was, I think this must be a hot press watercolor paper. It's fairly smooth. I think it's probably a fairly nice paper.
It's probably hot press because I look at your background wash and you can see a lot of hard edges.
Yeah. 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 And, anyway, yeah. So that was sort of quite smooth to ink on. It wasn't quite as nice with the watercolor effects, but but then as soon as I started putting the watercolor effects on, it started bleeding. It actually now it long dried, because this was actually, I don't know, it was a long time ago when I did this. We were still probably in the lockdown. These are a few last pieces I've got that didn't I didn't put it into the books, the Urfspace books, because it's characters. Yep. Some characters I put in, actually. I did put in C-3PO.
Somewhere there's a lawyer who's waking up right now going, something's wrong. So what did you learn from this, to label your inks properly?
What's that?
What did you learn from this, to label your inks properly?
Oh, yeah. I learned to label my inks. No, I learned to, yeah, I mean, they put it in the exact same bottle, to be honest. It's just a different label. And I mean, if you're not looking at the label side, that was my fault, because I probably hadn't ordered it in a while when I ordered it. And then I forgot, but it was nice doing it. Anyway, so I sort of did. This was nice. And I tried a thing where I tried spraying on a fixative, but that didn't really seem to work. Yeah. So I just thought, okay, I'll go ahead and digitally color it. So let me just switch back. And then I want to talk about, we'll talk about the copyright legal issues. So yeah, the sea monkeys, we know the sea monkeys from reading American comics.
Yep.
And this would be the sort of ad that you'd see for the sea monkeys.
Did you have sea monkeys as a kid in England?
We couldn't order them because you needed this strange thing called a zip code.
Okay.
It said, you can't quite see it here, but it says address, city, state. We didn't have a state, and we definitely didn't have a zip code.
Okay.
So you couldn't send it off. Okay. And there was no sea monkeys in, they were probably growing some sort of bacterial water parasite. It's not encouraged.
Well, it was pretty much every American kid had sea monkeys at one point, because they're what's referred to as a starter pet. They're disposable pets. They're a way of teaching children that your pets will die.
Yes, and that I had a teacher who was, the only reason we keep pets is to get us used to the idea of death. Yeah. So yes, they say they die. It teaches you your godlike power, but in England though, they're unattainable. They're always a mystery. You never.
Well, if you had, I mean, now that you're in the United States, have you ever had sea monkeys?
Well, I think Sam did have something like that at some point.
You mean the dog? You mean whiskey?
No, my son. What?
Are you talking about whiskey?
No, I'm talking about my son.
No, your son Sam has a pet like that. So are we talking about?
I'm talking about whiskey. No, I'm talking about he had some sea monkeys or something at some point.
But you haven't.
No, I suppose so. I think it's I wouldn't be very good at looking after them.
That's the whole point.
I have a big urge for sea monkey. I mean, later I had goldfish, and I realized that sea monkeys were not these strange little pink people that lived in there. But anyway, so the picture sort of partly symbolizes this, and my relationship with America. That's very important in that picture.
Have you ever looked up the history of sea monkeys?
No, I haven't really looked up the history of sea monkeys. Yes.
So kids, if any of you are watching and you're curious about sea monkeys, do not look up the history of sea monkeys.
Well, before I posted this picture, I started feeling a bit weird about it Greg came round. He said, you should just post it. I was like, they were quite strange to see monkey thing.
All right. You just don't get the context of this because you're not a Yank.
Yeah. Well, so tell me the history of
sea monkeys. I am not going to tell you the history of sea monkeys.
So they were sort of growing in some bacteria.
No.
They're alien creatures. They're colonic parasites.
No, you're not going to draw. No, just kids, do not look up the history of sea monkeys. I'm sorry.
Well, anyway, in my picture, they've returned. Okay, so the influence also for this picture is this image from Jim Starlin and The Power of Warlock, which I love. This was in our Star Wars comics.
Mm-hmm.
which came out weekly. So they'd split the sort of monthly Star Wars comics into chunks and then intersperse it with this and Guardians of the Galaxy and Tales of the Watcher.
Okay.
So we all got those. So that was all pretty popular. I mean,
No, I like Jim.
but I love the scene. He's returned. Like it was already getting. I was starting. I don't know. I was sort of starting to like Warlock. There was some weird things going on that I found very interesting. And then I didn't really understand at all. But then this image when he sort of has returned and like he's big and the Earth is small, I was like, oh, that sort of blew my mind.
Yes, the composition is quite interesting.
Yes, it's sort of a weird crotch shot
Yeah.
now. I think about it. There's the sun sort of blazing away in the middle. It's funny when I saw it again. It wasn't exactly how I remembered it, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a good image, and yeah. So it's this sort of idea. So our little sea monkey pets have gone off into space. There's some sort of alien space. Now they've come back. Now we're their pets.
Yes.
Hopefully they'll look after us a bit better.
It's not as dramatic as the other composition, though.
Well, I want it to be more. It's like more friendly and accessible, like the sea monkeys. Like, okay, so because I'm mirroring this image in the middle, the family like all looking at it, going like, ooh. Yeah, I didn't make their horns red. Actually, their horns are a little pink, aren't they? I should have done that.
They're also not mammals.
They're not mammals. Well, here's the thing. So, like, I sort of ended up being a bit Austin Powersy, where you're sort of like not really showing.
Yeah, I know.
But they don't have bits. But like, if you hide their bits, and then you wonder if they do have.
There was some thought put in there. Yeah, you have to be careful when you're drawing. A lot of cartoon characters are naked. Like Donald Duck is naked from the waist down. Bugs Bunny is always naked. Donald Duck, Daffy Duck's.
Well, we've had enough talk about duck.
Well, yeah, we can't
duck
talk about duck nudity either.
On the previous versions of the show.
But the thing is, we accept naked cartoon characters.
Previous versions of the show were more obsessed with cannibalism, giant
we're not
bringing up heads.
No, this is the new.
We're not going back there.
We're not going that way.
Moving forward.
But I do like how you rendered the Earth. So you did this, and you did all the coloring in Photoshop, I guess.
Well, I was just having so I did this. I was just having some fun because it took me ages to actually get around to coloring it, and it wasn't a very difficult coloring job. But then I just had a bit more fun, like with the Earth, I suppose. But I sort of kept the characters super simple. I sort of like the expressions. I don't know, Dad. Like he's not a great parent. He's got sea monkeys as a present for his kid.
Well, I like.
He's not got them a cat. He's got them a planet Earth. I suppose maybe it's good. I don't know if it's good. The kids. He's full of optimism.
Well, I like the Earth.
The mum's some weird 50s.
I like the Earth because it almost looks like you rendered it in gouache.
Yeah, there's a couple of brushes I like in Photoshop. So I use that's a sort of I say it's one of those sort of textural brushes that just works very well.
So there's a million texture brushes now for Photoshop.
Yeah, but really in the end, I've just got this one that I really like quite a lot. But it sort of goes with the cartoon. It's kind of, it's better than a sort of gradient, a flat gradient. But it's like a lot of it's about sort of contrasting the simplicity versus the complexity.
But I like how the feet don't have the same number of phalanges as you've given their hands.
Maybe, yeah. I think they grow extra fingers probably when they get older. I think I was just going by what I could see from the pictures, and if I didn't see it, I just made it up. Wait, where's Instagram again? Let's go back to did I get any reference? Oh yeah, they had like little web toes. I didn't really look at this when I was coloring it again. I sort of looked, when I first did it. But they're so strange. Family, they're all running around.
Yeah,
that's what you can see.
Sea monkeys are one of the first lessons of childhood in disappointment because they don't look like the illustration. They're not people.
Yeah, it's like Santa lied to me about these sea monkeys. Well, kid, I got something to tell you about Santa as well.
No, we're not going to do that. I should draw some sea monkeys today. I think I will draw a sea monkey.
Yeah.
But
why didn't you do that? And I'll do a drawing too.
Well, I'm not going to draw right now because I would have to fold my computer. I don't have the snazzy setup that you do.
Oh.
I'm going to have to invest in a snazzy setup with a webcam and all that stuff. But what are you going to ink this today with? Are you going to actually use the correct ink?
Yes. Wait. So are you saying you can't? Yeah. Well, all right. Well,
this show is for your drawing. People don't want to see me draw.
Well, I think they do.
I don't. It's 10 a.m. It's too early to draw. I don't draw before midnight.
All right. Well, I'll keep an eye on the comments. I don't know if anybody's tuning in.
No one's shown up yet.
All right. Well, maybe once I get doing some drawing. Now, am I going to start with a pen or the brush? That's not always a given.
Do you want to use a brush in the foreground and then use a pen in the background to knock it back?
Well, the other day I did it all like a lot with the brush, and I was quite happy with that result.
You're going to use.
I've got to look. I only just finished the drawing, so let me sort of look at it a little. That's the other thing about it. If you're doing it properly, really, you've got to sort of slow right down, where it's just a lot of looking at stuff. What am I going to do now? All right, but I found some fun reference. So let's see. All right, now I don't know if my friend Emma's tuning in today, but I found a barbarian woman model that kind of reminded me a bit of Emma, but I don't know if the drawing looks like a lot like her.
So when you use a brush for your inking, do you use more than one brush so that you have different line weights? Or is that just one brush and you're handling it differently to get different line weights?
Yes. Well, I've got a couple here. I have a number 2 and number 3.
Okay.
And then I have some smaller ones. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this I'm probably going to do the number 2, I suppose.
And that's a Winsor Newton red sable.
I don't know. I mean, there's different ways. Or sometimes it's better to do with a bit of a pen first. But all right, I'm gonna do the brush. Yeah, Winsor Newton red sable.
Now, where are you going to start first?
Well, that's the question. On my little bit of scratch paper. Make sure I've got the right sort of. Well, somewhere safe, I think.
Oh, I didn't realize that's a barbarian woman. I thought that was a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can barely see your underdrawing.
Oh, my camera's flipped. Let me unflip it. Hang on. And I can move it about. If it gets so you can't see me,
I'll let you know.
All right, okay, but now I went over here because it wasn't too busy, but then I've got a hand to deal with straight away. I've already warmed up enough for a hand over here. But actually, I feel like you do have to get to the face fairly early in these live drawings because...
You think that's what sells it?
Well, I just think that the face, when you do the face, it can really sort of change it a lot in a way.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, that's the one thing I really like about digital is that as the drawing goes along and I see that I've made an error, I can go back and I can fix it. in case I've lost some of the unified spirit of the style.
Well, that's like, okay, if you went to watch a dancing performance and then they stopped it halfway through and they said, oh, wait, we're going to go back and start again.
I don't know. I kind of like that, I guess.
I'm just being provocative. Yeah, everybody's got their own way of doing it, and everybody should do their own thing. Be happy about that. That's my advice.
Don't smear the ink.
Yeah, well, this is a problem I have a lot with these things. Brush is like a bit better for doing sort of fur and stuff. She's got quite a lot of fur on her, this one. Okay, lighting. I suppose I have to think about lighting a little bit. Yeah, this is the problem I had before, is that my sort of foreground and background lighting, that's very diffuse light coming from. Yeah, all right, well, that's fine. Now, hair. I suppose with hair, there's a thing about kind of doing the whole shape. There's like a point on the head where it all originates from.
You're referring to the parting line?
Yeah, but it's almost like like a point, really. Like it all kind of comes from that
Oh,
point.
I know what you're referring to. The idea that somewhere in the crown of the head, the hair kind of spirals out from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fairly key idea in painting the hair.
That's why there's a lot of bald comic book characters. Charlie, look at Charlie
Because they
Brown
couldn't paint hair.
from
I don't know.
Peanuts.
Well, it's a good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little time consuming. It requires a little more thought.
Yeah. Yeah, you save time by having bald characters. Or ponytails. Or what are the other ones that save time? Like the Princess Leia hairdo.
Princess Leia hair.
You know, where it's tied back and there's two buns on the side.
Yes. Well, that's quite a popular look in Britain. Last time I was there, it was like a lot of women had their hair and sort of tight buns on their head.
Really?
Yes.
On the top, the
Yeah,
back,
like a top
or the
knot bun. Yeah,
sides?
like a man bun, but on women.
They may be either exercising or doing dance. Girls who are in dance classes are often referred to as bunheads.
Well, no, I think it was just sort of had become a bit of a trend over there.
I like buns. I can't wear one though, because it makes me look like a hipster.
And you're not a hipster now?
No, I think I'm still technically a bohemian or a bum. You know, it just depends on which parent you ask.
Yeah.
See, I don't make any money on my art, so I can't call myself an artist.
Well, is that a fact? I don't think that you need to make money to be an artist.
Well, I don't.
An artist is how you feel in your soul.
No, I think it has to do with money.
I think you're wrong about that one.
I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong.
I don't want to make you laugh while you're inking the face.
You know,
Now, when you're doing these lines, are you
well, she doesn't look a lot
adjusting?
like those. But
Are you adjusting the width of the line to draw interest, or are you making the line thicker to imply lighting?
well, it's a bit of both. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
When you are doing this right now, are you thinking about that more than just feeling it or doing it on autopilot?
uh,
Yeah, I ask the hard questions.
This is like asking a baseball player when they're like coming on, about
Yeah,
to
I
pitch the
know.
ball off the pitching range.
I know. It's like me asking a centipede, how do you keep all of those legs working in synchronous in sync?
um, I don't know, the more you think about it, the less I can do it. Well,
Yeah, I know. I'm
you've
trying to
got to sort of
sort of.
okay. Part of it is like I had a dream one time, but I was drawing for a long time. I had a dream at one point where I was like, I was drawing my comic pupil and I could draw it really well, and
Yeah,
it was just flowing out of my pen, and I couldn't draw it like that. And I'm like, but I was like, oh, that's the state I have to get to.
the flow
Then I
state.
sort of, but then I sort of understood the sort of mental state, and if that makes any sense.
Oh,
So
you're
yeah,
referring to the flow state where you're not really paying attention to it. You just know it because of practice.
yes,
Okay.
I don't know if I'll ever do it as well as in my dream, but I've got closer. In the dream, it's like when you're breathing underwater. It's like you were. It was just coming out exactly the way I wanted it without having to think about it at all.
Now, I can't see the underdrawing, so our viewers can't. But how much of this is invention and how much of it is in the underdrawing?
The underdrawing like positions things. I don't know if I go closer. Can you see it
Yeah, that
better?
helps a little bit. Okay, so it's position. So you're making up a lot of these details on the fly.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and definitely like making up decisions about sort of lighting and shadow and stuff. Which,
Yeah.
well, I'm sort of prolonging those decisions as much as I can.
Okay.
Because I'll do like a wash, and then you can sort of build it up a little
Okay.
bit. But I mean, I have some sort of sense. But yeah, I'm not doing anything too dark just yet, unless I'm really like,
Now,
you
I
know,
have
yeah.
seen some professional inkers rotate their paper in order to be able to paint certain brush strokes. I've noticed I don't see you rotate your paper much or if at all.
I mean, I might do that again if it wasn't like a live drawing, and if it was a more sort of finished pencil that I
Okay.
like. Oh, I'm doing this exactly the exact line, but because I don't really know exactly what I'm doing at this point, I'm still drawing it.
At
I
this
kind of it's
point,
more important that I need to see the picture, like
okay.
than if I sort of turned if I turned around to ink this line, I wouldn't really know where the next line is.
Okay.
It's a bit like what you were saying about not letting your pen leave the paper.
Okay.
I suppose it's another aspect of that.
For those who weren't here for that discussion, what I was referring to is something taught to me by Jim Smith in terms of measurement when drawing the human figure. If your pen doesn't leave the paper while you're drawing the human figure, you're more likely to get all the sizes of the body parts correct and the proportions and angles. If you lift your pen from the paper, you're kind of breaking that train of thought that allowed you to see all those measurements correctly.
Exactly. So in a way, yeah. So rotating it would have the similar sort of effects. of the like, well, I'm not really sure what I'm actually drawing.
Now, if you were not doing this for a live drawing, would your underdrawing be tighter?
I mean, yes, if I was doing it, yes. I mean, normally, okay, especially if you're doing something as a commission. Right, this hair is quite confusing here. If you're doing something as a commission, then they're going to want to see some sort of sketch beforehand anyway. So it's partly to do with that, you need to have it sort of more worked out. I mean, but even for myself, I mean, I don't know, like just depends, because like if it's just a personal drawing, like a lot of times now I just draw things in pen anyway, but then I might take that pen and then redo it in a pencil before I ink it. So there's different ways of doing it, I suppose.
Okay.
I don't have a set way of. I mean, on any project, I might, I'll probably work out some sort of formula that I'm using. But
Okay. Now that hair is lovely. Do you have a reference, or is that just from practice and knowledge of how to render hair?
yeah, no, I've got a reference that I'm looking at, but I'm sort of changing it a fair bit. But
Okay.
I'm not following it too slavishly. All right, so now she's got some incredible armor going on here. I'm sure will be very practical in a fight.
The purpose of armor on a woman in fantasy illustration is not to protect her in a fight.
No, because she can already take care of herself in a fight. Right. Usually.
I have a number of female artist pals, and there's been long discussions about female armor.
And on the basis of,
well, there's the remote possibility that female armor in fantasy illustration may not be practical or very protective. I know this is going to shock you, Chuck, but it's possible that it's there to titillate.
Well, the thing is, what you hit on there is the key word is fantasy illustration.
Yeah. You're just perpetuating a stereotype, Chuck.
Well, if you say so. Well, okay, but artists like to draw the female form, as we learned at Botticelli.
Oh, we haven't discussed that yet, have we?
Well, we didn't discuss it in depth. We talked a little bit. We looked at some of it. We could discuss it more.
Yeah, that was an interesting show. For the viewers who haven't heard, we went to the Botticelli drawing exhibit at the Legion of Honor in San Francisco. I wore a Hawaiian shirt. Chuck wore a T-shirt with one of his characters. So we barely made the dress code.
Yeah, I'm doing that now too.
Yes, but it wasn't as nice a shirt as that.
Wasn't that one?
It was the Mutant Time Traveler.
Oh yeah, the Mutant Time Traveler. I like that one. That one's you can wear that anytime, any place, really.
Yeah, I can see that at the Symphony and other museums. But that was a fascinating show, because I don't know what people were thinking when they were looking at it, but someone who's an illustrator they would see all of those drawings as just the preparation sketches for the paintings.
Yes.
I don't know if the people viewing that without an art background realized it. It was just grunt work.
Right, it's the stuff that survived and that we
Yeah.
that could be assembled. I mean, it's so delicate as well. That's the other thing about it.
Well, that's because he was trying to be a photograph. They had no option of photographic reference, so they were trying to do it as photorealistically as possible.
But I couldn't quite tell if Botticelli himself was a sort of delicate thing, or if he was kind of a robust guy. And they call him Botticelli, meaning a little barrel. But I think it had some double meanings and things like that. So,
Well, what we saw was a lot of silver point, lead point, wash, and white chalk, and it was done in a style that I recognize, which I was actually taught, which is the hatch work needs to follow the contours of the figure. So they were Botticelli and his students looked like they were very concerned with capturing the values and also the directional planes of the figure. That almost sounded like I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah, I mean they were. I mean, I noticed like on his drapery how it sort of became more stylized. He went in and like by the end it was sort
Yep.
of like these great carved, sort of quite formal shapes.
Well, his stuff became more cartoony towards the end.
Yeah, it's funny they move more towards sort of abstraction, but then he's also working on his one big search and find scene that he's never going to finish.
Yeah.
And in fact, if he did a bit, like he might go, that bit's too finished. I need to make it more unfinished.
Well,
then you're in trouble.
that was a little sad seeing that last unfinished piece because you could. I may be projecting, but I thought I could see the desperation for money in that piece because all the other pieces that we saw, um, that was going to have the most number of figures.
I don't know. I feel like it was more like he just wanted to have that one thing to keep working on, and he just wanted to do that and not really have to do all these different ones. He just wanted to put it all into that one.
Well, he was in debt, so either he was desperate for the money
I
or
think he's in debt because he's spending all his time working on that and not doing. Like, if he was desperate for the money, he'd do 100 little drawings.
you think he went full artiste
Yeah,
and
I think he was
he
just like,
wasn't
oh, I
paying.
want to do this really big one that goes on forever.
That's an interesting difference in thought for the two of us. Is I saw it as desperation. He was throwing the kitchen sink in it, trying to sell it, and you are seeing it as this is his magnum opus, and he was just letting everything go to hell while he was working on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit like, okay, my friend worked at Tippett Studios, and I felt like Phil Tippett, like they were having a lot of competition from, okay, so they're animation studios
Yeah,
that made like a lot of the sort of, like in the 2000s, they did the wolves in the, um, what do you call it, Twilight Saga, and then they did like all these
yeah,
different animals. They sort of specialized in that, and they did Starship Troopers. Phil
yes,
Tippett was the guy who had like animated the Imperial Walkers in Empire Strikes Back, and he worked on, he'd worked with Ray Harryhausen a bit, I think, and so he was really the heir to all that, and and then he was going to do, Jurassic Park was originally going to be him doing stop motion dinosaurs.
right.
Then the digital effects came and took over, but then he sort of embraced that, and then he started his studio, and they were doing that, and they were working there making these films. But I think he made enough money in that, but he became like he was big, had big. He's still around, I think, big beardy guy, and very nice. He spoke a couple of times, quite serious sort of guy. But I went to see him speak as a sort of Jurassic Park thing that when they were re-releasing it, the anniversary.
Well, I got to
And
say, Chuck,
what's that?
you're really doing a good job on the blacks right now.
Oh, thanks. Well, so I saw him speak at this thing. And wait, was it? Oh yeah, but he was like into making his own film. This thing, which is out now. I guess he got it done. Like
Mad
Mad
God.
God, yeah,
Yep.
which I haven't seen yet, but and I do really want to see it. But yeah, I mean, I think his studio. Meanwhile, like a lot of the business started going more and more to China and like other places where it was cheaper. And he just wasn't that focused on it anymore. I don't think. I think it's still around though. I'm not sure. I think they're still doing stuff. Don't know. Over in Emeryville, near to old Pixar and everything.
I probably drive past it when I go to the Shoals Museum.
Would you? You come up that East Bay, do you?
It's on the other side.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Emeryville's
remember.
that.
Emeryville's just below Berserkley.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what
Yeah,
they're
I
calling
drive
it
by
now.
it when I go up to Berserkley.
All right, I'm not spending enough time on the patterns on that thing. Like, there's a lot of patterns on there. You sort of get lost in those forever. Let's see what else we got. I'm also with these. I'm thinking about the time. Like, how much am I? I'm trying to get this done within our window of time here.
Don't worry about that. We can always work on it next show.
No.
Yes.
Well, so you'd like me to be like Botticelli, where I'm really just doing one drawing forever?
Yes.
But I'm not sure if that's being a good cartoonist or not. Maybe it is. Maybe it is just one big search and find scene. It goes on forever.
Yeah, we were. I know that we were at the painting there, and we were both looking for Waldo.
Yeah, Waldo's got a bit of a lock on the search and find scene. It's a bit like if anybody else does a search and find scene. It's probably like in the early days of comics where they sort of said, "Oh, all comics are like Superman," and you're like, "Wait, what about Batman and Spider-Man?" Hmm. Hmm.
What about the Yellow Kid? What about Crazy Cat?
Yeah.
No, we all compare the stuff to what we saw in our youth.
Yeah. Well, Waldo had a sort of hold on it for a while, but I don't think those are the best.
Oh, the Search and Find?
I don't know. He does get better. He does keep topping himself with each one that he does. So.
Well, when I was a kid, that was pre-Waldo. So
Yeah.
the Search and Find was more stuff like in Mad, you would see the occasional poster scene. Sergio would do those.
Oh, yeah.
And there wasn't anything specific you were looking for. It was just so complex and detailed, you would spend a while looking at it.
Right. I don't know if Sergio's is as appealing to kids in a way. They're more like adult, his drawings.
Well, I do know that when he was doing conventions, people would bring their kids, and then they were now bringing their grandkids to meet him because they'll find the old Sergio Aragonés books, like the Mad paperbacks, and the kids will still enjoy those.
Well, that's true.
It's the availability. He's done so much work, but because it's ephemera, it's Mad Magazine, it's the Mad paperbacks, it's comic books, the stuff tends to disappear.
Yeah, it does disappear. I think ephemera is well, everything's ephemeral, but ephemera is particularly ephemeral.
Yes, but there are other. If it's in book form, it seems to last a little longer, especially if it becomes a successful children's book. I mean, really, Dr. Seuss, while a groundbreaking cartoonist, it survives because he had popular children's books.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm talking about. Seuss is a more like appealing style for like children's books, but even he's a bit out of the norm. Even he's a bit cartoony because
Yeah.
they really like they're sort of children's book people are a bit not pro cartoony.
Well, yeah, I don't think the average person researches Theodore Geisel's early work, like the stuff he did during World War II as an
Yes.
editorial cartoonist, or the advertising work he did for various oil companies. And you have to really be a cult movie person to know the movie that was based on his artwork, The 10,000 Fingers of Dr. T.
Yes. No, I've never seen that. I only learned about it fairly recently.
Okay. But a lot of kids have seen his animated specials, like The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Yeah, we watched that this year, the family, and everyone enjoyed it.
Okay. Nice navel.
Yeah. Well, give her a bit of musculature going on here. And I'll do that more when I get to the shading part.
The problem with drawing women,
well,
she's
a feminine figure, but I don't know. She's also got some strongly masculine qualities.
Right, but what I was going to say is I was taught to be economical about the line, because too many lines age the character.
Is that was the patriarchy's prevailing opinion?
Well,
you're like, I like that guy in the Stepford Wives, when they go, there's all the men meeting, and there's the guy who's like drawing the pictures. They've got the artist who like draws the women for magazines and stuff. He's looking at them, turning them into his like version of them. I thought that was good.
Well,
I mean, I don't think that was a good thing to do, but I mean, that was very instructive to me. I thought, yeah, you can't be like that guy.
Well, if you have to be careful when drawing a portrait, because if you try to delineate all of the different features of the face, like the laugh lines, the philtrum, the crow's feet. I mean, we all have them, even young people. But if you delineate them, you age the character.
Yes, right. No argument here.
Well, you shouldn't.
But what's wrong with sexy older women?
There's nothing wrong with sexy older women. I know a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's just
it's just a fact.
Okay, well,
there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes.
In your mind, and yes, I know it's fantasy, so she could be immortal and 1,000 years old. How old is this character?
60.
60. Okay. Thank you for completely destroying where I was going. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. This is turning out very well, Chuck.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on here.
Well, you kind of have a slight problem with the axe because if you put too much detail in it or too many darks, you're going to distract away from the face and
Yeah.
bring it
Well,
in
what'll happen?
foreground.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, that's a good point. But I think that the axe will be a little more. Yeah, the face will be. That'll have some of the strongest highlights. And areas of white around the eyes. The eyes. They're sort of bright, strong things that sort of draw your face in that direction.
Well, I can tell you now, you've put so much work into her chest armor and that fur cloak that she's wearing. You're pulling some of the attention away from the face.
Well, possibly, yes. I mean, the thing is, you got to. I mean, I'm not. Nothing's quite completed. I could get the wash out and sort of complete her more.
No, don't wash this. You always pull the wash out. You always pull the markers out.
But that's my plan.
No, God damn it.
Why? I don't understand what's the problem.
I swear I should quit this show.
What are you upset about?
No, you're just ink this. Ink is wash.
But there are different shades. I'm
Ink
seeing
is
in my mind.
wash.
In my mind,
Oh
I'm like,
my
I'm going to do
God.
that, and I'm going to do this.
Ink is wash. So just keep inking.
I'm not here to satisfy your demented cravings.
Well, I'm here to keep you on track. Remember, I'm always right about things.
Are you? No, that's my wife. Are you always right about things?
Well, then bring her down and ask her if you should do wash or continue with ink. She'll agree with me.
I don't know that she knows anything about that. You have to explain it to me.
Explain what to you.
What is the wash? How is the wash offending your sensibilities?
Because you've done a lot of it lately.
But I like the results.
I know, but you
don't.
No, I do. Like, for example, we were talking about the 2 covers you did for Goodman Games. They're wonderful watercolor pieces.
Yeah.
But when you're doing the wash, you're not necessarily pushing your inking. And you're also not, because right now you're doing a great job inking with this brush. And I would just like to see.
That's only because I know I'm coming in later with the wash to fix them.
If you, I swear to God, I'll kill you. I don't care if it's an hour's drive and I can't park. I will come and kill you.
Okay. Really?
No, do whatever you want. But I do think that right now you're doing a great job in the inking.
Okay, well, thanks. I don't think the wash destroys that. I think it enhances it.
No, I don't. I think that the ink is really push this. Because I really don't see you doing necessarily a lot of hatching or a lot of stippling.
No, okay. I mean, if I'm just to do the ink, then I'm going to sort of come back in with a sort of small pen and refine bits and put white out on and stuff.
Why the pen and not continue with a smaller brush?
Because the brush introduces an element of randomness. I mean, it's fine. I mean, yeah, you can have a lot of control of that randomness, but the pen is just, then you get exactly what you want. And at that stage, I'm like, okay, I'm just refining this to be exactly this thing or that thing.
Okay. So you're telling me that you have more control in the detail if you're using a pen because it eliminates randomness.
Yeah. Is that what? I suppose that's what I'm telling you.
Okay, so
I
do you
feel like
know
you're trying to trap me.
what that tells
You're trying to
me?
trap me into something now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. What that tells me is you need to not use a pen this time and use a smaller brush and push yourself to do that detail with the brush. Because remember, randomness with a line is also life in a line. It's those microscopic happy accidents.
Yeah.
Nice chain.
Yeah, chains, well, they're tricky. Well, you're just sort of asking me to really slow down and do everything in a very slow, careful, considerate way.
Well, sometimes you have to.
Yeah, sometimes like this bit, like there's a lot of crazy detail going on here. I mean, what about the background? The whole background kind of depends on the wash.
No wash.
Okay, oh my God.
You could use the pen in the background if you want to just have a uniform line to throw the background back.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of my technique with these is to use the dip pen. I mean, can I not use the dip pen? I mean, that's still.
Okay. Oh my God, we have a viewer. It's Bruce Rayburn.
Oh,
Rayburn
Bruce.
says, "Good morning, Chuck. I'm here watching. This is a nice one you have going." That's because it's all about me telling him to continue inking and not moving to wash.
Bruce, do you want to come and play your guitar? Sing us a song. Dale doesn't want me to have a musical guest either.
Hey, if it was up to me, I wouldn't have you on the show.
I posted a link. If you want to join us, click on the link I posted there in the comments.
Chuck's angry at me, so he doesn't want to talk to me anymore.
All right, I get it. Dale is trying to spot me like we're two athletes. We're at the Gold's Gym or whatever it was in Pumping Iron. This is the artist version.
You know, that might be the future for us is have art gyms, you know, where people come in and they have easels and there's spotters that come around and push them.
Well, I saw our good friend Greg last night. And last time I saw him, he was doing Art Battle, where at the Great Northern nightclub on Utah Street. And they had, well, a dozen artists in two groups.
Okay.
And they had a canvas on an easel, all had the same canvas, and they had 20 minutes to paint a picture.
Okay.
And they brought their own materials and could do whatever they want, I think. And they could, they could have like prepared a sketch or whatever. There was no sort of constriction about that. And they did it. I was like, well, that's, it was interesting. But, that's competitive art for you now. There's no sort of sitting around quietly at home painting pictures.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be out there.
The punters want more violence in their art.
Yeah. See, there's lots of lovely things I could be doing in here with the watercolor texture. What?
I thought Greg was working on the caricature challenge this month.
He is. He's working. Oh, he's had some bad news in his life. So,
oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. So he's a bit off the rails with that. But yeah, he's been doing a lot of things. He's been doing his character. Like, okay, so when he was doing the live painting, he was doing his character OGTV.
Okay.
He was like a robot. He was quite funny. He gave a talk on it in the East Bay. Speaking of which, I'm doing East Bay Comic Con.
Oh my God, you're going?
Yes.
Oh, God damn it. That means I have to go.
Yeah.
Is that Concord?
Yes.
All right. There's a If I remember right, there's a good Rasputin's Records and model train store up in Concord.
Oh,
So
are you into model trains?
every person my age in the United States was into model trains. That was one of the things that you got as a kid,
Yeah.
as a Christmas present before video games. So
Okay.
yes, I
So
had a
model trains
model
are really
train.
the proto video games, is what you're saying. I suppose so. Because like
Um,
electronic switches and sets and
you know
making things
how
move around.
people buy Warhammer figures and paint them, and Dungeons
Yeah.
and Dragons figures and sets.
Oh yeah, Dungeons and Dragons train set now. I could get behind that.
Well, no, it's modeling. So pre-computers, kids bought plastic models and assembled them, or people bought toy soldiers and painted them.
Yeah, I used to do that.
Or
Airfix kits, they were called in England.
yeah, and it's the same hobby but a different subject when Dungeons and Dragons came out. Like a friend of mine, she got into building doll houses, which is you make all this miniature furniture. And
Yeah. Are you saying my Dungeons and Dragons furniture is a doll's house?
yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah,
I
all
do.
these people playing Warhammer, they're playing with dolls,
Yes, yes.
but the skills all overlap.
Yeah, it's like painting. I mean, that's the thing. In the pandemic, I started painting like some of my miniatures that I had sitting around for ages, like needing a paint.
Hmm.
Um, and I sort of got aware that I can do them in a big batch, so I just sort of batched them all. But then that got me into painting. I was like, oh, I had these coming out. I need to do more painting, and then that just sort of led to me doing all this different painting. So
Well, a lot of those skills, people are buying. Like I'm on a number of Facebook groups just so that I can see what the skills are. Um, like there's a 3D printing group where they print their own game figures and they have to paint them.
yeah,
But that's a skill overlap with model trains and model spaceships and even special effects makeup, because it's all just painting.
all just painting, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going off the page there. Well, all right.
No, I could see what you're doing.
I'm
You're
going
you're concentrating on her hips and crotch.
Well, I was trying to do. I'm doing the legs. And she's got some strange furry things. She's got like a ferret here, I think. I should make it more of a ferret. She's. It looks like she's been hunting a lot of ferrets.
It's part of her backstory.
I'm going to call her. Um, well,
Nice hip shot. It's exaggerated, but it sells it.
yeah. I sort of super exaggerated her hip, but just to make it a bit funny.
No, I like this a lot. This is you're in the zone.
Well, it definitely helps having thought about it a bit beforehand.
Wait, you mean my suggestion of you doing some underdrawing was helpful?
Yeah, but it still means I have to get up an hour earlier than you in the morning.
Well, I did go to bed.
Okay. Um, Kids, it's very important to have a regular bedtime. Go to bed on time. Get up
No,
early.
no. Kids,
Early bird gets the worm.
Kids, when you retire, you can stay up all night. You can go to bed whenever you want. It's awesome. But you don't get any art done. Okay, so you've blocked in the figure. You've done some detail. Where
I'm working on these, like her feet down.
I didn't even see.
Again, I don't know. I really in the drawing, I really exaggerated this foot disappearing off the screen. But I mean, I was keeping it on, but it might be too exaggerated for the rest of the drawing at this point.
Why not stop it there? You can always trim the paper.
Well, because my overall composition requires it to be here.
Okay, but I'm going to tell you this. Don't make up her feet using the ink and the brush. Take a moment, grab the pencil, and redraw it.
Well, yeah, I haven't got to that, but this foot I have already done, but there's quite a lot I need to make up.
All right. You need to show a good example to our viewers.
Oh, that is a good example. It's not like running for your eraser and like, I've got to do it all in pencil first.
Oh,
I'm going to work my way up to lion taming via accountancy.
No, but you know it.
I see what you're saying now.
You know yourself that it's a good idea to block things in with an underdrawing.
Greg hadn't ever watched any Monty Python, and he was like, I'm kind of curious about looking at a Monty Python. I was like, you came to the right place.
Wait, Greg has never seen Monty Python?
He hadn't seen any. Well, I didn't know where to start. I was a bit confused. So I decided to start with Meaning of Life, because I've been wanting to watch that myself for a while. So, and it was very good. Everyone enjoyed it.
I can't believe he grew up in the United States. How can he not know a classic British comedy program?
Well, he said he thought it was like white boy humor, and I said, well, like, yes. But now he decided he was kind of interested in looking at it, so I was like,
okay. Okay.
It was his idea, so that was good. But yeah, I mean, well, it is, but you have to understand how transgressive it was for its time. And it's still pretty shocking. All the things that were shocking about it before are still shocking. Every sperm is sacred, Mr. Creosote.
The dead parrot.
The dead parrot. That wasn't in that movie.
Well, I think
dead parrot wasn't so much shocking.
I think that in the TV series, The Undertaker sketch, that was the first time I was exposed to cannibalism humor.
Is that what got you into cannibalism?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're a kid. They don't talk about eating people in schools.
Yeah, you hadn't.
But that's not what we're here for this show. Don't distract me.
Yeah, we hadn't really
thought about drawing.
Well, okay. So you want me to redraw this other foot over here? I mean, I could have it. I don't know. I sort of liked how comical.
Redraw it. You said yourself a moment ago you thought that it was not in proper position or anatomy.
Well, I was being a bit funny with it because I made it very sort of small and like kicking back.
No.
But now I'm realizing that's probably...
Get out the rubber.
I'm getting out my rubber. Yeah. It's all right. I've lived here long enough to know that I have
put
to
a peg
an
on
eraser.
My
eraser.
Oh, you know the American term for it. Okay, so
that's why you get all these Americans going around with erasers.
Show the kids what kind of pencil this is. Show the kids what kind of pencil this is.
Okay, it's a Ticonderoga. It's a bit chewed up because I chewed my pencil. Carmine Red 4251.
Bring it down.
Oh,
God, this is the worst show ever. Okay, turn it so we can see the writing on it. You gotta sell it. Turn it.
Can you see my teeth marks? You'll be able to identify me from these dental records.
Okay. All right, so it's a Ticonderoga wax color pencil?
Red.
Is it wax?
I don't really know, but I don't have any problem with it. It's
Okay.
yeah. It
All
seems
right.
to, it seems to
But
work. Yeah.
no, wait a minute. If it erases, it must be some sort of color erase.
Yeah,
It
it's
must,
color erase. Yeah.
all right, it's got to be clay then,
And it really erases very well with this. The
which is
mark.
also off
Oh,
camera.
sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm putting them under the light, but the camera's not really where the
We
light's
have
at.
another viewer. Hey, Emma.
Oh, hey, Emma. Emma, this drawing's dedicated to you because I found a model. Well, the model looked a bit like you. Not the drawing; it doesn't so much anymore.
What we're doing today, Emma, is we're trying to force Chuck to do the drawing without a wash and to push him with his ink skills.
I'm really not sure because I think it's going to look so much better with a wash.
It's not going to look better with a wash.
Well, the question is whether I do that. I sort of feel like my original foot solution was the only one that really works anyway. I mean, unless she comes really back up here.
We'll use your reference.
Well, my reference is just sort of coming off the bottom of the picture, much as this one does. But
Lord.
I want to do something a little more silly.
You need to pull out your copy of Andrew Loomis's drawing the head and hands. Oh, wait a minute. Don't you have the Don't you have the Handy app? That it's an application that gives you model reference for feet and hands and head.
Dale, do you know how to show people's comments? Like you click on them and then it highlights them.
You do?
Yeah. Hi, Emma. Yeah, Dale, we're going to be more responsive. But yes, Emma, I hope you like this drawing because it's dedicated to you.
So I just click on it.
If Emma had been like abandoned as a child in a barbarian wilderness, she would have probably grown up looking like something like this.
Are you saying that barbarians in fantasy art are homeless? Emma says she is very flattered. She's being immortalized in ink.
Ink and wash. Emma,
No,
Dale doesn't want me to do a wash.
Why don't we ask Emma if you should put any wash on this? Emma, do you think Chuck should use wash over this? I say no. I'm waiting for her to say.
She's going to say, like, who the hell are you?
Your mother's bridge partner says she's not sure about the waist. I don't know what that means.
I guess she's looking at it with her mom.
I'm clicking on it and I can't bring it up.
It'll all make sense when it's finished.
Chuck, I can't bring up. I think that's just something you can do. I can't bring up.
Yeah, you can't click on it.
It happened.
Yeah, if you click on it. Well, I did it, but yeah.
All right. Yeah, I can't do it. What is she saying? Your mother's bridge partner says she's not sure about the waist.
Emma's talking about her mother, who plays bridge with my mother.
Oh, wait, the waist, the model's waist.
Well, yeah, the model has a very strange waist. That's all I can tell you.
I'm not sure about the wash. That proves it. If she's not sure, you shouldn't do it.
Do you think it looks better just with the black and whites?
Yes, just black and white. Push yourself.
Have you what is this to do with Steve Ditko? Is this one of your weird conspiracy theories?
Okay. Remember the art that you showed me with Adam Warlock and how that inspired you to do the sea monkeys?
Yes.
I want you to be able to do something like that.
Okay, let's go back to that. Where is that? Okay. So that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Is there a wash there?
All right. No, there's cross hatching.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily cross hatching, but feathering.
All right. All right. Well,
Chuck, it's your drawing. Do whatever you want, but my vote is no. And I'm going to be incredibly obnoxious about it.
I mean, like
Sure,
to
it's
me,
no.
like black and white was something that they used to have to do because of like poor printing.
Right. But it also makes you concentrate blocking out the lighting.
Okay.
And
I
also,
get it. I just
because
don't.
you're blocking out the lighting, you're simplifying the lighting.
All right. Look, when I said that, yeah, this was our artistic exercise and you were going to be my spotter, I didn't realize that you were going to be like
Like
forcing
a
me
boot
to
in the
work
ass.
harder. I didn't really want to.
You need to build those artistic muscles.
Okay.
Your artistic muscles are getting flabby with wash.
I, I like the wash. What about my wash? My
It's
wash muscles.
your washes are flabby. We're gonna fix
It's
those
it's
washes.
it's also it's like the time constraint of doing it all within the show. Which yeah, okay, you're saying I should just be like Botticelli and do the one forever, but
No, I'm not saying that. But oh God.
all right,
You
no,
know,
no,
I
no.
have a
I'm
lot of
listening to you,
friends I
Dale. I'm
could have
listening to
gone to that
everything you're
show
telling me.
with.
Yeah.
I could have taken the cat to the show. He would have enjoyed it. Oh, God damn it, Emma. Now Emma wants to see the wash. No, don't. He's
Yeah.
flabby. Oh, God. No, don't do the wash, Chuck. Push it as far as you can with the ink.
Yeah.
Ink is wash, just very, very dark wash.
Um. But I mean, the ink's there. That's done. I mean, sort of. It's not quite done, but
No, go.
all right.
Let's
This
take
is.
a look at the face and the axe.
Yeah, I mean, I can do more, and I should come in with a smaller brush and all this blah blah blah. But I want to come in with the wash; it'll look even better.
Nope.
Oh.
Do one with and one without.
Well, the one with is the one that's like done before I start putting the wash on. The wash is just adding another layer to it.
You've done wash before on the show. Do the smaller brush. Push yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't fall back on the stuff you've already done.
Well, I'm trying to come up with a formula where I do the same thing every time.
No,
What?
no. You've got to exercise different artistic muscles.
Do I?
Yeah, otherwise you get flabby muscles.
But don't the people want you to see you do the same thing every week?
No, no. They want you to do the same thing every week, but in a different way.
Yeah, like I'm doing a different picture. This picture is inspired by Emma.
By the way, Emma says it looks amazing. And it looks amazing
Yeah,
because there's
that's.
no wash.
She says it looks amazing because it's a picture of her. So she's like, okay, that's amazing. Um, oh,
Do you want to step away from it for a few minutes to get a fresh eye?
yeah, well, I might sort of work on the background stuff. There's a few things I need to do before I step away. But yeah,
Okay.
you're right. I mean, there's like all this sort of furry texture on here. Oh my god, if I do, yeah, okay,
You could work on that furry texture forever.
yeah,
But if you do, it's going to flatten it and it's going to direct the eye to it. Be economical in where you're putting detail.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking about now.
That was one of the things in those Goodman Games books you were showing me.
Yeah.
is there was a lot of detail in a lot of those drawings, and he made
Yes.
them flat as a pancake.
Well, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Chuck, can you do me a favor when you're ready?
Yes.
Let's see the heel of your hand. How smudgy is it? Not bad.
too smudgy. uh
You're going to have to do something with the axe, the hair, and the face.
Yeah, well, I think that's a smaller brush, though. This is quite a lot with the bigger brush, and I'm thinking I should just sort of get the background sketched in at this point.
The background with the same size brush or a smaller brush?
And I'm going to do the dip pen for the background.
Okay, so you're going to flatten it by having
Yeah.
one line width, or
Yes,
okay.
yes. But again, I still think the back is going to look better with shading.
No, it won't.
Otherwise, I have to put in like sort of big blobs of black and stuff. I don't know.
No, you don't. You can
Okay.
you could hatch that or stipple it.
I do like how masterful you're being, Dale, with telling me what to do. It's good actually, because I never know what to do. It's really good having a voice that's very strongly telling me what to do, and then I can deliberately ignore it.
Yeah, and you can also blame it on me.
But then you'll take all the credit if it comes out good. All right, now the background, I found a nice picture that my cousin took on holiday.
Okay, in one of those British places.
No, it looks like some foreign place. I don't think it can be Britain.
Okay.
And he's taking a picture of his wife.
And what pen are you? What nib is that?
This is my Speedball. It's so mucky I can't even read it. Probably like a B5 or something.
Okay. So it's got kind of a little ball at the end, or is it a point?
Well, no, it's a sort of has a sort of flattened tip.
Okay. Oh, okay. So almost a Fude nib.
Yeah.
For those of the fountain pen fans here, a Fude nib is an Asian calligraphy nib.
Speedball, it's a nice American pen. They're mostly sort of lettering, but they do really come in all sorts of widths. But yeah, they're more of a fixed width. But actually, when you're using it on a more textured paper like this, you do actually get quite a lot of line variation for it. So it's really nice, I think, for doing stuff with. I love to.
Is that cold press watercolor?
I think we decided this was hot press last week. It's the same as I was using the week before.
Okay. Because I would expect that nib to catch if it was cold press.
There's all these trees here that I really want to do.
No.
I hate you, Dale.
No,
There's all this stuff. This like this background stuff. It's going to get really complicated if I have to ink it.
Yeah. Well,
if I wash it, it just goes boom, and you're done.
Oh, good God. Yeah, and it looks like it too.
I really feel like this needs to be.
No.
Otherwise, it's going to take forever.
Let it take forever then. Art takes the time that art needs. That's one of the problems with digital art, is that it is so easy to render that you don't necessarily have simple black and white anymore. And anyway, this is your penance for going to the show and looking at the exhibit online. You have to show that you learned from it.
Mm? The Botticelli.
No, I was actually talking about the other exhibit. The one
Oh,
with
the exhibit online, right? Not the
the
one.
the one with yes, not the exhibit online, but the exhibit online.
But you reminded me that you can see the Botticelli film exhibit online.
Yeah, okay, we're just getting confused here. No, I'm talking about the exhibit of the drawings where it was the purpose was to show the different uses of line.
Okay, here's the problem, Dale.
Yes,
If I'm keeping this just black and white,
yes.
uh, I need to kind of come in and come in quite heavy with the black in the background because I've got to sort of divide it up into blacks and whites rather than
No, you don't.
tones of grey.
You can do anything you want.
Well, it's either that or sort of get out a very small pen and just do all this sort of really detailed stuff and don't put any darks in the background. But I feel like, there's a sort of dark that's coming in, that I'd really, I kind of, if I'm not doing it with the wash, I don't really know how to do it.
Okay, then learn how
Without
to
doing
do it.
a whole lot of black.
Well, are you saying that you need to put in spot blacks?
Well, I need to put in like a whole lot of black.
Okay. Are you saying that you would be better off doing spot grays to knock it back into the background?
Yeah, what I'm saying is I would like, at this point, I would want to do washes in the background to build the background up without having it. Otherwise, I have to sort of make a decision to go in with blacks on the background and like divide it up with blacks.
Okay. I don't see why you need the blacks and you can't just do line.
Um,
Because atmospheric perspective would knock back those blacks.
yeah, but the whole picture needs more contrast.
Well, you have contrast in the figure. And as you build
Yeah,
up,
but I have no contrast in the figure in the background.
well, I think you should stick with a pen because you're arguing about not using a pen. And I think you shouldn't put in background blacks because you're arguing for it. So I want to force you into a position where you're not doing what you would normally do.
You're forcing me into a position where I'm
You're on the bench with the weight and you
yeah,
want
and you're walking away. You're like sitting down eating
no,
a donut
I'm
5 miles
here
away.
telling you, okay, what would oh God, what would Bernie Wrightson, who did Frankenstein, do?
He'd like drastically over render it.
Okay. What would Sergio do?
Um, he'd get his colorist to do it.
What would Hunt Emerson do?
Uh,
He'd draw Willie. I know that he'd do that.
well, I mean, you're saying if I have to keep it in black and white. I mean, the whole thing is like if I'd known that at the beginning, I would have done more bold sort of black and whites. But the trouble is, yeah, okay.
And I'll ask you this, Chuck.
I just want to give it a wash.
Well,
It'll be
Chuck,
more finished. I don't know what you.
my advice is
I've
stick.
got half an hour. Here's the problem. I got half an hour left.
No, you don't. You have as much time as you want. You
I
could
don't have as
work
much
on
time
this
as I
next
want.
week,
The show ends at 12.
Chuck. All right. I'm not going to let you use a wash.
Okay.
And I'm not going to let you put in spot blacks. Stick with
I have to put in something to define the background. There's like all this stuff, and there's all this stuff I want to put in the background. And
you've defined the background because you're leaving some of it to the imagination. Just put in a little more detail with the pen. Start delineating the bridge so that they know that it's made out of stone.
Yeah. Okay, so it's up my head. I don't know what I'm doing now.
Good. Push yourself.
Good. This drawing was going quite nicely. It was going to come out quite well, and now you're
No. That we don't care about the drawing. We care about the act of drawing. The drawing doesn't matter. You said yourself, you're entering into the flow state. You need to go. Chuck, you do great drawings. You're a great illustrator, but you need to push through.
Well, then that requires me putting in a lot of black, like here.
No, it doesn't need the black.
I have to I've got to get the contrast in, like the trees. This is very dark.
No,
here.
You don't. What time of day is it?
It's like, the afternoon.
Okay, the afternoon doesn't have big blacks in it.
It does. This is like a very shadowy, foresty area.
Yes, okay, foresty area, but work on the detail and put in the foresty area doesn't have huge amounts of blacks in it. The blacks will be in small areas in the trees, areas where the light is occluded. Some of that.
I'm going to do a wash and it will look much better.
Oh, no, you don't want to wash.
What?
Pull the damn pen out and start working on a bush or start working on the bridge. I think that you'll be happier.
If I'm not doing wash, I have to put some shadows in.
No, you don't. Would Heinrich Clay do that?
I don't know what he would do.
Okay.
Like this tree, at least,
Work on the tree, but don't use.
Then black.
He doesn't need black.
Then light dark wash.
If you put the black in, you're going to flatten the model. Trust me.
She's already flat.
No, she's not. Work on the tree with a pen. Trust me. What's the worst that could happen? We ruin our friendship and you get another host. Do whatever you want, Chuck. I'm tired of. I've done my best.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You want me to do it without doing black or without doing wash? I'm not really sure what is left for me other than
pen. Use a pen. Use a brush or a pen.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to come in with the pen and do some little detail work. I don't know. I'm not even really sure. There's all this stuff I want to do. Just like that. I want to do this with a wash.
Yes, but you've done it with a wash before.
Yeah, it came out good. And I'm like, I want to do more like that.
Okay. But you haven't earned it yet.
Earned it yet?
No, you haven't earned it. And notice that you're going back into the figure. You're not going into the background.
No, because if I'm doing this, then I don't really know what I'm doing in the background, to be honest. I mean, I think I need to put. If you're not letting me put any black in the background, I have to put some more in the figure or something, so the background becomes irrelevant.
No, you don't. Work in the background.
But there are bits of the figure I haven't done yet. I mean,
what would you have done with wash, and how can you translate that?
I would I would very quickly bring the background to life with a quick wash. But with the way you want me to do it, I have to sort of laboriously do all this stuff that I could do very instantly with a wash.
Simplify that line? Why can't you simplify all that laborious detail into line?
Because the lines are like sort of the random lines of nature, and they
Okay.
come flowing out of the brush, like, with the wash, like that. With the pen, you have to sort of very carefully look, oh, like this tree, I've got to, like, draw this. There's all this stuff that I have to do, but it's just a brush stroke otherwise.
Well, can't you do that with a brush stroke with your brush, but just using ink?
But then it's like a black. This is a silhouette because there's no
Okay.
grayscale. There's only a black or a white.
Okay. I think that this is where we have a communications problem and an impasse.
Me too.
How would you do if this was a job for Goodman Games and this was just black and white? How would you do that background?
All right, I'm good. I come in with some black at this point.
Okay. I'm worried that if you come in with a lot of big blacks, you're going to flatten it. But I'm going to shut up. Do whatever you want. I'm done. I've. If you think it needs blacks, put in blacks.
I think it needs blacks.
Okay.
If it's not washes. But then I don't get to do the nice sky. I love to do the washes. That's the whole point of me doing it on watercolor paper. Is
all
so
right.
that I
Use
can
the washes. I'm sick of it. I can't take it anymore. I can't take. I'm going nuts here. I've done my best.
But I mean, it's like, why would I do it on watercolor paper otherwise?
I don't know. I don't pick your paper.
Yeah, but I picked the paper because that's the drawing I'm planning to make.
I just assume you have a big block of watercolor paper.
All right.
People like you that make me regret stopping drinking.
Thank you for giving me permission to do it the way I want to do it. All right. I'm going to start with putting some nice water in the background. So it's a nice
Now,
sky.
is this going to be a gray wash?
Yeah, this will be a light wash on the watercolor paper that I've previously prepared for the purpose.
A light gray wash.
Well, I'm just putting water here so I can get some nice water effects.
Is that clean water?
Yes.
All right.
Mostly clean anyway. Cleanish.
Clean-esque.
So this will allow me to make some happy little clouds. All right. See, I mean, you can't use this big old gigantic brush if you're inking.
Why not?
Because it's too big, you'd get sort of grey tones, or you'd just get it's a sort of shit ton of ink. But anyway, even so, you were like, okay, I don't want you to put all black back there. So what am I supposed to do?
You would put line. You would use line. But
yeah, okay, yes, I could do a Bernie Wrightson thing. Do you know how long he takes over those? How am I going to do that in 2 hours?
Now.
And really, I don't know that they look that good. You're just like, okay.
You're saying Bernie Wrightson's Frankenstein doesn't look that good?
Not to me, no.
Oh, I love that.
I'm like, okay, just like you over egged it.
No,
You've done it all much better with a wash.
no.
Oh my god, with this discussion. All right, next week I'll do something where I'm like, from the get go, I'm not going to do it. But this one, I already selected the paper. I made all these decisions about it. So,
Chuck, I'm here to push you.
push me into a state of insanity.
Well, that's why we're artists. No, I don't. I guess I don't know what to draw. Should I try to draw a barbarian woman or a sea monkey? Or a barbarian sea monkey woman?
Yeah, that sounds like the one.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been telling my friends that I've been drawing a lot of devils, and some of them were getting worried about me.
Yeah, like, well, yes. I mean, as long as you're not telling them that you're being tormented by devils that are coming into your room at night and having their way with you.
Oh, I wish. They're referred
You
to.
wish?
They're referred to as succubi.
Well, some of them are, or homunculi.
No, a homunculi is different. A succubi would be an erotic female devil that comes to you in your sleep. A homunculi would be like Woodstock in Peanuts.
What is Snoopy?
Well, Snoopy is obviously the creator of Woodstock. This is why I'm in trouble with the Shoals Museum.
Yeah, because you keep going around there and preaching outside the doors, and you're coming around there with your crazy
Okay. Oh,
philosophies.
hey, Roger. How you doing, man?
Oh, Roger.
Roger Crownover comes. So he's applying the wash. Now, where's the suds?
After some debate, in which I'm told that I'm not supposed to be applying washes.
Yes, we've been fighting whether or not Chuck should be using washes or not.
I mean, I could have done it in black, but you said I wasn't to do that either. And I'm like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? He's like, I'll do it like Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah, you missed a lot of really good arguing, Chuck. I'm sorry, Roger. The whole purpose of this show is for me to be an art spotter for Chuck. This is Chuck's exercise time, where he's exercising his artistic muscles. And I think that his pen muscles were getting flabby because he's relying on wash. But
That's for next week. That's for next week.
He doesn't have the stamina. He
It's not about stamina. I've got a 2-hour show.
You can't keep your pen up. I got to tell you, you've got a bad case of droopy pen.
I don't know, you're a weird fetishist.
Well, art's all about sex.
All right. So is everything in that case.
Yeah, well, it is. Oh.
All right, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Well, we have to. We only have 13 minutes left.
Well, yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Okay, if we hadn't spent 15 minutes arguing, I could have been done by now.
Well, those 15 minutes could have been spent using the pen.
That would have got us nowhere. Look how far I've gotten. I still haven't done it doing it with this one.
Oh, good Lord. You see, the thing is, you could have worked on the same drawing next week.
No.
Yes.
No, because I'll finish this drawing after the show, whether you like it or not.
Or you could finish it on the show next week.
No, I'm just done. I'm still finishing up things I did from years ago. If I start doing that, then it goes on the back of the things that I need to finish from like 5 years ago that I started.
Okay. Then you need to figure out how to be able to finish these more quickly. And
yeah, by using wash. And
not
arguing
by
about
using wash, by using pen and ink and ink on the brush.
What is it? So you just like that two-tone monotoneness?
Do I like black line on white paper? Yes, I do. The show would be a whole lot more efficient if we just got rid of the drawing and just did the fighting.
Yeah, well, I know that's most internet shows. We're trying to do something a little more. Yeah. All right, maybe a smaller brush for some of that.
Okay, 11 minutes.
Okay, now you're stressing me out.
Good.
See, this is why, we need a musician to come on, I think, for that last half hour. Instead of us arguing about how I was going to do it, a musician could have come on and played a nice tune.
Like play mariachi music or
Bruce or someone,
something to like get your adrenaline going in the last half hour.
Yeah, just some nice music. Like when they on Jeopardy, where it goes do 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 do.
I could do that. We used to do that at San Jose State in the dark room because we knew the Jeopardy theme song was, I think it was 90 seconds. And the problem would be if someone started the Jeopardy theme song and then someone else started it, we would always end it at the same time and throw off our math.
Throw up your masks.
Throw off our timing. You would put something in the developer and go.
Yeah, that was Freudian slip there. You're clearly to throw off your mask. They've said they don't recommend isolating now. So we're over it. You don't even need to isolate anymore.
No, you have to.
No, they just say they literally changed the science. You're not following the science anymore.
Chuck.
All right, we won't get into that. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, that's a different show.
Yeah. Yes. Well, all right. That's a show where I berate you. Other than the show where you berate me.
We don't need a show where I am berated. If you want that, you can see the live show over at my folks.
No, I wanted you on the show so that you could berate me. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, it's fun to berate you.
Yeah, there's no one else I'd rather have berating me.
Well, except Tina.
Well,
I mean, you married her.
I know, but I can't. I have to do what she says. I can't. I can tell to get stuffed. So.
Well, I'm sure you could say that to Tina once.
Well, yeah, once.
Yeah. Thankfully, she's not watching right now.
Well, I think she is. She's usually watching or listening.
Good to have a fan.
Well, I really appreciate everyone who does tune into these shows. Roger, Emma, Bruce.
Oh yeah, we appreciate our viewers, all three of them.
Well, and people who may be watching later on YouTube or something. Appreciate you guys too. Like and subscribe. Watch the video all the way to the end. the thing you're supposed to do.
Speaking of the end, you have 7 minutes. I'm going to end this so I can have. I guess I need breakfast. I've got a
Yeah, I
bag
would.
of fortune cookies, but I think I might get real food.
All right, you'd probably be less cantankerous if you ate breakfast before the show. So yes,
No,
please.
no, no. Ooh, I wonder if that place I go to still is serving breakfast. I want pancakes.
It's good. I am gonna work on this a bit more after the show because I can tell it's going to benefit from a little more consideration.
More wash. Yes. Throw that more wash. Wash, wash, wash. We've got kind of a Chris Aculos vibe going.
Oh yeah, I like Chris Aquilos.
Yeah. He's passed away, sadly,
That is sad.
because I know that in the 80s, I and all of my friends who were into airbrush, we were like going to comics and comics in Mountain View to get Chris Aculos books published by Paper Tiger that would be imported
Oh
over
yeah,
to the US.
that's what all the cool kids were doing.
Oh my God. Yeah. And they were not cheap back then.
No, I don't think I ever had the Chris Achilleos one. I had Rodney Matthews and Roger Dean.
Yep, I had those. Chris Aculos, the book that everyone was getting was, I think it was Amazon's. But he also did some illustrations for adult magazines, or they were buying the reuse rights for them.
Yeah, they used them a lot on the cover of White Dwarf magazine, which I would
Yeah.
get.
And of course, an amazing poster for the movie Heavy Metal.
Oh yes. Oh, I'd like to see that one again. I've seen that for ages.
The poster or the movie?
The movie.
Yeah, it's okay.
South Park did quite a funny parody of it.
I love that. When that came on, I was just screaming with joy.
Yeah.
That was about the dangers of cheesing.
Yes.
As a cat owner, I'm quite familiar with that, actually.
I didn't really know anything about it. So.
Well, that's because you're not a cat owner.
Yeah. Well, not currently, but I was a bit mystified. That whole episode was.
No, if you haven't had a cat piss in your face, you're not really a cat owner.
Yeah. Well, I've had a cat that sits on my face.
Okay.
He slept on my face all night once.
Well, I have a cat that's an associate producer of Cinema Insomnia.
Well, all right, that is good. Can he? Does he want to produce this show? Can he be an executive producer? Aren't they the ones that come up with?
No, this is a little beneath him. My cat won't work in a show that I'm a star on.
Well, okay, that's probably understandable.
Three minutes.
3 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on.
3 minutes. I'm going to get Swedish pancakes, I've decided.
Well, I'm going to be sitting here trying to finish this drawing.
Well, I have to do lettering later. It occurred to me that I needed to type all of the text of the cartoon I'm supposed to be doing into Microsoft Word and spell check it because my spelling sucks.
Oops.
2 minutes.
Well, I'm not finished yet. But the show is nearly finished.
You know what this would need? You know what this needs now, though?
What's that?
Glitter.
Glitter.
Have you when you were learning wash and watercolor, did you ever play with any of the effects, like putting salt down in a wash?
I have played with that. Yes, I mean that's good if you want to create snow or something.
Yeah. Did you ever use a toothbrush for your watercolor? Did you spatter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah. Yeah. In my Urfspace books, you can see examples of both those effects. Actually, as it happens. As it happens.
1 minute. Ooh, I should set I'm going to do a countdown timer on this. Hang on. Timer. 1 minute. So I'm starting 1 minute. You have 50 seconds. $40 seconds.
You're a bastard.
Yeah, I am. 30 seconds.
All right. Well, I'm going to continue to work on it, but there's a little more development can happen.
Well,
but all right, there we go.
Do you feel that your artistic muscles have been exercised? Hello?
Sorry, what was the question? I was looking at Roger's comments here. Roger's saying he applies to wash. Where's the suds? Well, he's siding with you, is he?
So,
telling me to put glitter on.
Do you feel that your artistic muscles have been exercised today?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had to challenge my right to do what I wanted to do.
No.
I feel like I would have got a lot more finished than this.
So you're going to blame this on me? So that's a yes.
I'm pretty happy with the results. It's going to be more better when I finished it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm not. I do like, and I think I found this. I do sort of require another hour on them, really.
Okay.
But not enough for a whole nother show. And not enough where I'm going to go all Bernie Wrightson on it.
Okay.
Just to satisfy your demented cravings.
No. I just. God. All right. So, are we wrapping this up?
Yeah, that's the end of the show. We'll be back next week. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Roger, Emma, Bruce, Tina, anybody else, wherever you may be. We'll be back every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. East Western Pacific Coast time. And
you don't even know when your own show is on.
Well, I'm trying to do two things. I'm trying to find the theme tune here too. All right, okay, here's the theme tune. Bye.
Bye.
Here's a theme song for Chuck Whelan Showy. He asked me to write one, but I stole from David Bowie. Here's a theme song. Chuck Whelan is the best. We have lots of hosts, but we're running out of gas. Will you be our guest on? Will you be our guest on? Be on the Chuck Whelan Show. Whoa, 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 whoa. If you're gonna have a show